I mean, I think media has gotten lazy on this award, much like they've gotten lazy to giving Heisman voters always go to the quarterback and the MVP in NFL too. And it's just like what he's doing is actually like blowing me away. And I said before the season, I thought he would make the Pro Bowl. Think about that. Like, that's why I think he should be a real MVP candidate. The impact he's having on the field. Now, I know T.J. Watt has had some real high-impact plays late in games that don't show up more than maybe a QB pressure or something like that, but they've been very impactful in seeing the highlights. So, look, it's when you got an established player like that, it's hard to win. I think he's laying the seeds and the groundwork to potentially be an MVP down the road like a Polamalu or Bob Sanders. Like, John, you blew me away a little bit when you mentioned Ed Reed, and he's got a long way to go to be Ed Reed because I think Ed Reed's on the I think he's on the all-time team, him and Ronnie Lott.
Yeah. And
I don't know if he's got that ceiling.
I don't know that he does.
I don't know if he doesn't.
But what I said was he's got those qualities. He's in year 2. To say he's going to have a career like Troy Polamalu, I think is still a bit out there. He's got some Polamalu qualities. He's got some Reed qualities, but I'm not going to say his career, the projection of his career is going to be Ed Reed quality.
The thing that Brian Branch has done this year, in my mind, he's going to make at least 5 Pro Bowls. And he's another guy on this team that's going to do that. Sewell, probably Hutch.
St. Brown.
Maybe St. Brown.
Gibbs.
Yeah, maybe. You know, running backs a very dicey thing, but he's got the playing ability to do it. And that just says why this team is so good, man.
These guys are all in their first, 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, and so if Brian Branch, honestly, if putting that as the standard for Brian Branch, if he doesn't reach 5 Pro Bowls in his career, I think it's one injury,
right?
And something that would keep him out for a year or prevent him from doing the things that he does now with as many varied skills as he had, or if nothing like that happens, in my opinion, he's underperformed.
Yeah, and I think the consistent impact he has on games, he doesn't to me. He never has a bad game. It's just and what he's done for the defense in Hutch's absence. That's what stars do. They save a team. He's just blossomed so quickly.
He's the Amon-Ra St. Brown of defense. Amon-Ra St. Brown was drafted, 4th round, and we heard the list of receivers, blah, blah, blah. Brian Branch was there. Most people thought he was going to be a day 1 pick, 1st round pick. He didn't leave and go home. He didn't bitch and moan about not being taken. He stayed there so that when they called his name day 2, he could walk across the stage, as he should have. And I think there's some animosity, there's some motivation for him, and we're seeing it on the field.
Well, the thing with safeties are, though, that they're one of the positional values things with the draft that I hate, where, he plays this position, so we can't take him in this position. And when you have a special player come along, that's out the window. You can go look at all these guys,
yes,
the best safeties of all time. They haven't been drafted where they should. I think right now, I'm just going to spit this out there. You could argue Branch should have gone top 5 last year.
If we're going to redraft the draft, I'd have to go back and look at some of those players.
You can argue he should have been. In fact, I think you can say he should have been the first line drafted if you would. That's what he's done, and it's just astonishing. And that's why, again, this team is so good when you get that value at that pick.
Think about it. Defenses are playing more nickel, more 5 defensive backs. You have to have extra guys who can be twitchy in space and cover tight ends, running backs, slot receivers. And the Lions got one of the best in the game in the 2nd round, which is a feather in the cap of Brad Holmes. But if you remember, this was also a guy Lions fans wanted. Some Lions fans wanted him in the 1st round. And it was clear you didn't have to be a football savant when you watched his tape that he was everywhere the ball was. And if you did some mythology on him, Nick Saban, who is a secondary coach by trade, was playing him as a freshman. You think about what that says. In Alabama's defense, where they rely on those guys, and he's playing some safety, he's playing some corner, he's just sprinkling them in everywhere on the field. He couldn't keep him off the field as a freshman at Alabama. And then he gets to Detroit, and the same thing. Can't keep him off the field. He played nickel last year. He's playing safety this year. I think it's a nod to the coaching staff, by the way, that they made that change.
Yeah.
Because a lot of coaches would say, no, he's good at this spot. Let's not throw too much on his plate. But what I'm telling you is from the moment this guy was 17 years old, there's always been room on his plate. There's always room for more, and he has taken everything in stride. He absolutely is playing like one of the best defenders in football. I think whether he wins Defensive Player of the Year or not, that's a media-driven award. The football tape is the football tape. He's a difference maker, the biggest difference maker that turned this Lions secondary. It's not the only reason, but turned this Lions secondary into a strength.